The Triad region remains one of North Carolina's most attractive housing markets, offering a perfect blend of affordability, quality of life, and economic opportunity. As you consider purchasing a home in 2025, the Sharp Mortgage Team is ready to help. With median home prices significantly lower than the national average, first-time homebuyers and families continue to find excellent value in the Triad. And with programs like NC Housing Financing Down Payment Assistance, your new home may be more affordable than you think. Or if your holiday bills have been stacking up, the Sharp Mortgage Team can help you consolidate your debts and put you on a successful road in 2025. Call them today and they'll advise you on the best strategy. Call Ashley and the folks at the Sharp Mortgage Team at 336-575-9448 today for a no-obligation conversation that could be your best decision all year. The upcoming podcast of Twin City Talk is produced by Tim Beeman of Such and Such Media. Start your own podcasting journey by visiting suchandsuchmedianc.com. These podcasts are produced weekly, and every episode can be found at their website, twincitytalk.com.
Welcome to Twin City Talk. We are sitting with Jeff Smith today from Smitty Notes. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I've always loved Smitty's Notes. It was great.
Yeah.
How long did it run?
27 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start it?
Believe it or not, a bunch of us were trying to figure out what we're going to do for the weekend back in 1997.
Oh, wow. And it just blew up.
Yeah, it just blew up from there. I mean, really, we were just trading stuff. What we could, might be an option to do this weekend. And then slowly I figured out that people were passing along to other folks. So I, as a joke, called it Smitty's Community Notes. And then kind of distinguish it from everything else and everything. And it kind of grew from there.
Yeah. What did it end up being at the end? How big did it end up being?
Well, I had probably 16,000 direct emails, probably 22,000 Facebook subscribers, 1,800 LinkedIn subscribers, and 6,000 Twitter subscribers, yeah.
I know everybody was pretty sad when you had to stop it not too long ago.
Yeah, I realized that, last summer that it needed to end at some point, and I kind of figured that this would be a good time to stop it. So, I knew that it was going to be a slow ramp down because I've been tied into a bunch of other stuff for quite a few years, so I couldn't just abruptly quit at one time unless you kind of drop dead, whatever. But I just wanted to, being a legal professional, that was my career. People don't realize that I did that for 31 years, but there's a proper way to shut things down.
What type of law did you practice?
I initially was doing environmental law. I was a litigation paralegal in environmental. And then I went to Syngenta over in Greensboro and was there 21 years and was their litigation paralegal for North America.
Gotcha. So, do you miss it?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't. I think every newsletter that is, out today serves its purpose. There are probably 3 newsletters.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, they're out now. When I started in 97, I was the only one in town.
You were the harbinger of things to come.
Yeah.
You started the trend.
I was told I was the first social influencer.
You were.
You
certainly
really
were. Things did not happen if you didn't say that they were going to happen.
Yeah. But, people got to realize, too, that it was a lot more to Smitty's Notes than just the email newsletter and website. It was a lot of community work, community development work. Sat on quite a few boards during my tenure and tried to make change happen in various ways. And that is something that I enjoyed quite a bit.
So speaking of change, so where do you think change needs to happen in Winston right now?
It's another generation to discuss what change needs to happen. But when I was coming along, there wasn't a cohesive way to get information about stuff, and we learned that more people were not knowing about what was going on because there were more new people in Winston. Yeah. Winston-Salem was a very insular city at one time, but we found out that there was a lot more people coming in than we knew, and there was just no information out there. So I think that was like, the thing that we learned early on was that we need to kind of like educate people a little better about the city. And I think that's what the 3 newsletters that are out there today are doing. It's kind of like Winston-Salem 101.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to miss. Like, there's still people that will say, nothing's happening in Winston. It's like, where have you been living?
I heard that quite a bit over the years, and I'm going like, especially toward the last 4 or 5 years. And if you can't find anything going on in Winston-Salem today, you got your head in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you love about Winston?
Just the people, the history, going back to the first, I think Thanksgiving. No, 4th of July was celebrated in Winston-Salem and everything as a country and everything. First Arts Council, things of that sort. A lot of people who were celebrities have come through here at some point, and I've enjoyed that. And a lot of people made it big on the stage.
One thing that I remember that was pretty big at the time was the dinner with Smitty.
Oh,
plus,
evening with 8 plus Smitty. Yeah, I enjoy that.
Yeah. I went to a couple of them. One I definitely remember was Mitch Easter at the old Bistro 420. That was a good one.
Do you know who Mitch Easter was?
No.
Yes.
So he was in a band called Let's Active. He was the producer of the first 2 REM albums.
Oh, cool.
He had a studio at his mom's house, I think, here in Winston, and then he moved to Kernersville with the Fidelatorium. That was what it was called here too. But Liz, our friend Liz, has done production there. She's worked with him. Oh, cool. So he did my band, Heaven's Sake, was the first band to record in the new Fidelatorium. I say new, that was 25 years ago, in Kernersville. And he had a couple of artists come in, but we were the first band to record there.
Yeah. People don't realize a number of big bands come through his studio to record and everything. Just that it's not publicized or anything, but it's that's what I've liked about Winston is that there things. A lot of famous people come through here, and they do it so nonchalantly and everything, and no airs, and he's kind of blending in with the crowd. I mean, I remember running into Dave Chappelle on 4th Street because he was doing something with Maya Angelou at the time and everything. And he was wanting to check out what was going on and everything. I ran into, John Boehner, who used to be the Speaker of the House of the U.S. House. Mm-hmm. Ran into him at the Reynolds building one time because he was on the Reynolds board at the time when Reynolds still had a board and everything. I was just shocked. That's John Boehner.
Yeah. Owen Wilson's been here. There's so many people.
Yeah.
Oprah, obviously, because Maya Angelou. But River Run, brings a lot of people. I've met Bill Pullman twice.
Yeah.
And he remembered me. He says, "Oh yeah, how are you since last year?" And I'm like, "You met me last year?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "That's awesome that he remembered me." Yeah. But once you see this, you never forget this.
And that's what people like about our city is that you can kind of blend in with the woodwork and not cause any scenes or whatever.
So who's probably the coolest person you met here in Winston? You think that's visited?
Oh, this visitor? Oh, man, it's like a number of people.
Well, who are a couple?
Yeah. Gosh, you kind of put me
Put
on
it
the
on
spot.
the spot.
Yeah. I'd rather not say exactly who, and everything, but I know that during the National Black Theater Festival, you definitely run into a lot of the old school celebrities and everything. And that is something that I've enjoyed quite a bit. And that's one of the reasons why I've kind of like stuck around here, too, because I think when I took my first job, I was there 10 years. I said if I don't do it in 5, if I don't leave in 5, I'm going to stick it out.
Are you from Winston?
Yeah, I'm a Winston boy and everything. So
Where'd you go to school?
went to East Forsyth.
Okay.
Yeah. And went to college about an hour down the road, Elon College, which is now Elon University.
Yeah, the Phoenix, right?
Yeah. Well, at the time it was Fighting Christians.
Okay. All right.
And
Which is kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
yeah. And considering at one time it was like the biggest party school named by Playboy.
Right, yeah.
And then that's when they cracked down on the partying.
Oh my God.
Boo. So who's some of the coolest people that you know in town that you just know?
I'm not going to put anybody on the spot.
I don't mean naming things. I'm just saying what we've asked what you like, but what do you think are some of the coolest things about
One thing
Winston?
about Winston-Salem that people realize is called the Mayberry effect, and that's being able to walk up to somebody no matter what airs you may perceive they have, if it's a CEO or president of a company or
The mayor.
or the mayor, you can just walk up to them and just start talking to them and everything, and kind of like, throw an idea at them or complain about this and stuff, or just have a good chit chat. So, and that's what I liked about the whole Winston-Salem scene, is being able to kind of like walk up. When I did the dinner program, eating with 8 Plus Smitty, it was basically the idea was to have a business community leader, arts leader, things of that sort, to be the draw for the dinner, and people would sign up for it and everything. And what surprised me was that after the first year and everything was kind of like in place and was done right, it was a lot easier to get a lot of the speakers to come to the dinner because, for one, they talked amongst themselves.
Yeah.
But two, is it's a way for them to get out their bubble and connect with people.
New year, new you, right? Well, how about new home? Maybe your focus in 2025 is buying, selling, or investing in real estate. Maybe it's purchasing your first home or building wealth for your family. Whatever your goals are, the agents at the Ginther Group can help. It's never too early to begin working with Blake Ginther and his team, who have been a trusted resource to the Triad community since 2010. To reach Blake and his team at the Ginther Group, just visit theginthergroup.com or give them a call, 336-283-8689.
Life is full of celebrations, birthdays, holidays, life milestones, and so much more. And who has been helping generations of families celebrate these events? Our friends at Dewey's Bakery. And even if you aren't planning for something in the near future, you don't have to wait to enjoy something savory and delicious from Dewey's. Maybe you just need something to get you through your Mondays. Drop by every Monday for a free Cake Square Day. No purchase necessary. Just come celebrate the start of a new week. So, if you're hearing this ad on a Monday and you're in your car, reset that GPS and get to one of their 3 Triad locations immediately in Winston-Salem at Thruway and Renolda Manor, plus one in Greensboro at Friendly Shopping Center. And any day of the week, you can find the perfect item with fast and easy ordering options at local.deweys.com. Plus, Dewey's does so much to help celebrate our community. To date, they've given back over $4 million to local schools, churches, and other nonprofits. Your next celebration isn't complete without something special from Dewey's Bakery. Dewey's. Celebrate every day.
It's time to get serious about your financial future. It's never too early, but it could be too late to get started. And that's oftentimes the hardest part, getting started. How much do I save? Where do I invest? Do I save for college or retirement? How much for each? And who do I talk to about it all? Okay, we'll keep things simple for now and help you answer the last one. We recommend you begin with a local financial advisor. And that's Jennifer Johnson of Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. She'll sit down with you for a complimentary introductory consultation and go over all of your questions. Get started on the path to achieving your financial goals. Visit threemagnoliasfinancialadvisors.com or call 336-701-1600. Get comfortable with your financial future. Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. Retirement, financial planning, and investments. Securities offered through Private Client Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Three Magnolias Financial Advisors. Three Magnolias Financial Advisors and Private Client Services are not affiliated. Private Client Services is under separate ownership from any other named entity.
So what do you miss most about running Smitty's Notes?
I definitely miss being in the know, so to speak, being out and seeking stuff. But then again, it's nice to kind of like read news and not having any part of it.
Yeah. Are you still serving on any of the boards or anything?
No. I am retired. Retired from my real job in 2018 and retired from Smitty's Notes about 4 or 5 months ago.
So what are you doing in your retirement?
Every night is Friday night. Every day is Saturday.
Everybody has this idea that Smitty's is a big partier. No, I'm not. I'm kind of like this person who kind of like lays low. I mean, if you would have talked to me 30 years ago, and everything. But, I'm 60 years old now. I don't go out and hang out like I used to.
No. So what do you think of Winston's food scene right now? It's changed a lot.
It's changed quite a bit, especially when I started kind of like following things 30 years ago. I think the Johnson & Wells effect has helped us out a whole lot. Although they're based in Charlotte, a lot of the graduates kind of like come up toward this way. The folks at Second Harvest Food Bank, with the Providence program that they have, I think that's helped out a whole lot too. One of the big things that I think we as a community is that we got to open our palate up a little bit. Shrimp and grits are great, but but there are other types of food that we need to kind of like explore. And the reason we don't have a lot of those type, ethnic restaurants and stuff is because they just don't have.
Well, we don't have the discerning palates in this town. Greensboro's got a lot of ethnic restaurants, but I don't think the restaurants on the whole are as good as the restaurants here.
Right.
But, there was a trend, and I'm so glad that it's starting to go away, that everything was with a Southern twist, which to me meant pimento cheese and collards, which is great. I love both of those. But geez, oh Pete, do we have to? We don't have to be reminded we're in the South, right? You don't go to Mexico for Mexican food. Yeah. You go to Mexico for food. Yeah. So we don't need a Southern twist.
Right.
We're in the South. Fix what you fix and let us decide if we want to eat it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm so tired of pandering. Don't pander. Fix me some good food and let me go, I want more of that, or it just wasn't my thing. But there are other people who want it. On the other hand, I get annoyed. I am the man who ate the town, right? The food blogger that's on hiatus right now, but we are coming back. I also don't like when people say, you know what we need? We need a vegan restaurant. Well, we get one. And nobody goes.
Yeah.
Now, granted, pandemic got in the way of some stuff, but once the pandemic was over, nobody went.
Yeah.
So if you want something, support that. Yeah. I think the biggest thing we should take away from that is support your local restaurants.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And support them in what they do. Allow them to be creative. Don't go expecting pimento cheese and collards on everything. Here's your baked potato with pimento cheese. Here is your, all this other stuff with pimento cheese. We don't need that. There's plenty of pimento cheese to go around. We don't need to just put it on everything.
Yeah.
But
one of the things I'm kind of like frustrated with is that, for one, the restaurant owners, who are making a livelihood, from a restaurant, play it safe so that they have the clientele so they can pay the bills and feed their family.
But they don't hang around with that.
But the other thing is that, to the building owner, when the restaurateur goes in with a business plan, well, he wants cash flow. So if he gets something that's like safe, like a Mexican restaurant or a Southern restaurant and stuff, that's he knows that he's going to have that cash flow coming in. But if it's like an ethnic restaurant that this area hadn't heard of or this city hasn't heard of, they won't do it and everything. And that gets a little frustrating. I've always gone to Greensboro since I was 18 years old and hung out there and had the food there because it's definitely a lot more ethnic diverse as a population, and that's trickled down to the restaurants that are there too. So the big thing is that we need to be a little bit more adventurous here in Winston.
Yeah, Winston, I feel, thinks ethnic means Italian, Mexican, and Thai.
Yeah, yeah,
or Chinese. So that technically is ethnic, international cuisine. But where's the Korean restaurant? Where's the Ethiopian restaurant?
Oh yeah, there's a Hawaiian restaurant in Greensboro that I go to. And everything. Did you know that Hawaiians are like Spam, and Spam is always on the menu?
Yeah. There is a Korean restaurant over on Haynes Mall Boulevard, but it's more Korean fast food chain stuff. I want actual Koreans to actually come.
I think it's Filipino food. That place in Clemens. I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Island. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, but there was actually a Filipino restaurant maybe 15, 20 years ago. It's where La Batana is today. But before that, there was a Filipino restaurant there. And they closed because people didn't support it. They were opened by two nurses who were at Forsyth Hospital. And they were, wanting something from home and figured this would be a good place, kind of like open that type restaurant and everything. But they closed after probably a year because they didn't get the support they needed.
Well, where Taqueria Luciano's was a Filipino restaurant for about 23 minutes, and then it was gone.
How is the Islands place doing? Because it seems like people aren't usually there.
I went and one day and there was the guy working in the back, and he ran the counter and swept the floors and all that. There was one person there.
Really?
Food was good, but I felt like had he been able to concentrate on that, and the phone was ringing off the hook, and I think it was the wrong number multiple times, and it seemed disjointed. The food was fine, but it just seemed rough in there. Now, granted, it was like 11:30.
Yeah,
but still, where's your people?
Yeah, but that kind of goes toward the bigger picture of Winston-Salem. Is that not only in food but in business too? We gotta get outside our comfort zone. This was a company town when I grew up. I mean, Wachovia, Reynolds.
Krispy
Kreme, Haynes, things of that sort. I mean, this was a company town. And, like 30 years ago, I remember, Lincoln Town cars would be parked out front of the Reynolds building to go to world headquarters, down in University. I mean, it was wild. I mean, this is like, car service in a small city and everything. But life has changed since then. This is not a company town anymore. And I think they've done a good job embracing the innovation part of Winston-Salem, in which the next small bank, small medical company, things of that sort, are going to come from what's being incubated right now. So that's just my view.
So do you think the shift from company to smaller will help towards diversity?
Yeah. I think so. Basically, once the salmon reinvented itself.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's a resilient town,
Yeah.
and it's had to rebuild itself several times. And I think we are on the precipice of major happenings. Mm-hmm. And, bigger companies are starting to come this way, and there's more innovation happening here in Innovation Quarter. That's aptly named. Yeah. The grounds is coming. Yeah. There's a lot of things that's getting ready to happen.
Yeah.
And I think we are just seeing this is the golden age of what could happen.
Yeah, I think they just completed or will be completing soon the infrastructure ground utilities for Innovation 2. Once that's completed, you're going to see buildings pop up left and right. I mean, it's definitely going to be a major destination as far as like businesses coming into Winston-Salem.
So what business do we not have that you guys think should be here?
The international cuisine is the top of my mind. I think business-wise, we get a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Jobs are coming, and I think that's a good thing. I don't think we need entertainment complexes more than we have, but we need entertainment.
Yeah.
Not the big complexes that have all the things in them, but stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I don't mean concerts and things like that. We just need something that moves people to make this a destination to visit again.
Yeah.
Even more than live here, I would like to see more visitors come here.
And that's one of the things too that kind of spurred me along on kind of ending Smitty's Notes is that we're about to go into another phase of our community, and we need newer, fresher ideas. And the best thing for me to do, or for Smitty's Notes was to do, is kind of like step back and let the newer voices kind of like raise up and say what they have to say. Because Smitty's Notes was for a certain period of time, back in the late 90s to all the way to the 2010s and everything, which it needed to be what it was because the city was going through quite a lot. But I think we're at another phase now that another group can kind of like come in and take over where I left off.
Well, you did an amazing job leading them to that point.
Yeah. So
you are the foundation that the others that are coming along now have striven. What's the word? I don't know. Have strove to be. You certainly are a model, and I, for one, Jeff Smith, want to thank you for what you did, because The Man Who Ate the Town was partly based on what Smitty's Notes could do. And I am appreciative of all that you are.
Yeah, and I thank you for what you do too. I mean, not only just the podcast, because everybody gets Tim Beeman when they I do a podcast, but number two, just The Man Who Ate the Town. I mean, just doing reviews and talking about the restaurant scene, things of that sort. That is added to the fabric of our community, and things like that need to be told to folks. Yeah. That's something that, I think has been the model, or was the model of Smitty's Notes, was that shine the light where the light isn't shown.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And hopefully we did that.
I think so. I mean, I just want to echo Tim's statements. I mean, thank you for all you did. I was able to find a lot of stuff to do articles and stuff from your site and everything, and just
I've heard that. I've heard that from other, magazines and newspapers. Like, you giving me story ideas. I said, really? I was just like, I was telling people what was going on.
Yeah, and I like the inclusiveness of the group, in the Facebook group, It was always really great.
Yeah. And that was one of the things that I definitely stressed when I was doing the whole newsletter and website and everything that is Smitty's Notes, is that we were going to be inclusive to everything and everybody. And I think we were the first people to do that. I mean, there was a certain segment of the population that didn't get coverage like it should. And I definitely was not afraid to kind of like give them the coverage they needed.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us and all you've done for Winston.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Twin City Talk. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. The views and opinions portrayed by guests on this podcast are not necessarily those of the distributors and hosting companies. And if you love this podcast, that's great, but don't think about stealing it. Reach out to us and talk about the content, because it is copyrighted.